What's up everyone, Bobby here. Just installed my FIA new compliant fire extinguisher setup. So I'm just walking through it. So now it's all changed. They want you to run 4 nozzles in the engine bay and 2 internal to the compartment, depending on if you have a passenger or not. So I don't, so I just have 2 at me. They're not. This one's not fully bolted down in location yet, so I've got to move it a fraction. But that one's meant to direct at your chest, or that vicinity. And then if I go underneath here, I got this one, which goes towards your feet shin area. So then they're all teed off. This is an RRS direct FIA regulation unit. They're based over in France. This also got to be a bigger bottle, so I've got a 4.25 litre, so minimum now is 4 litre. So it goes through the engine bay. I've got one right here, I've got another one down here, and then it goes all the way across here. I've put it through or in front of the radiator because it was the better place to put it. Come up through the top here, come around here, and I've put one over here. Now on this one I will make a cover that goes over here, because the last thing I want it to do is get sucked up, if anything ever happened, into the intake system. Ideally I would have liked that one facing down here up towards the exhaust, but I've got a whole bunch of stuff here. And then finally I've got this one, which I'll probably locate a bit different as well. I may come up around here and fire it off over to the other side of the fuel. Let's go to the wider angle so it's easier to see. There we go. So my fuel filter will eventually go underneath the car where the fuel tank will be, because I'm building that. So then that won't be an issue. So I can just fire it towards the fuel rail, both fuel rails, and then 2 for the exhaust. I'm assuming that's why they've done it. I can't find any real explanations yet, but it is quite new. It only came into effect this January, and I think it will be phased out from 2022 totally, from the 2.25 minimum. So yeah, it's I'm pretty happy with the tight install. The metal is an alley tube, and that's what has to be used now as well. You're not allowed any plastic, so it bends real nice by hand. I did all of this by hand, as I used a tube cutter. I just deburred the inside. I've got to buy some clamps to clamp these in certain areas, just so it stops moving and stops hopefully twisting around. But other than that, it's a fairly decent system. Kill switches are in or whatnot. But on that note, I'll just show. I've got my setup here. So I have my fire extinguisher, I have my kill switch, I have my rear propulsion valve right there, which isn't widened or plumbed in yet. Got new calipers to go on, and I've got my bias adjuster, which will go on when I get my dual master cylinder pedal in. So yeah, that's the whole setup. It's taken me best part of 2 Saturdays really, from start to finish, to get this done. I made a bracket. Which is supported on the internals, so it takes all of the force, and it came out pretty good. So not too long doing all the plumbing, but it got there. Thanks.